All right, welcome to Storyteller Poetry Journal, Meet and Greet. What number are we on, Sharon? Hold up your fingers. Is this 5, 4? I forget. Okay. We are so happy to be able to get together and share our poetry. And thank you to Sharon for organizing this and for your ongoing efforts to showcase and support other poets. Because I'm the host, I assigned a reading order so that you will know when it's your turn to come up. And it looks like, given that we've got 11, we will do a full round of one poem each. And depending on what time it is when we finish that, we may do another round, or we may call it visiting time. So with that, Joan is going to start by reading a poem of hers and one from Sharon.
Yes, I'm not reading two of my own.
That's
I'm
correct.
reading one of Sharon's. She's asked me to read for her, and I'm thrilled to be able to do that favor for her because her work is so beautiful, and it just gives me great pleasure to immerse myself in it by reading it out loud for all of you. So thank you very much, Sharon, for allowing me to do this. And she sent me two to choose from her new book. And it so happens that she picked my two favorites. So it was really hard for me to select only one. But I went with the Smoke and Mirrors because that kind of has me caught up a little bit. Anyway, here it is. This is Smoke and Mirrors by Sharon Knudsen. When I see him standing underneath the Kanoko lights, his long, lanky legs leaning against the brick building, smoking a Camel, dark curls cascading from his cowboy hat, I am a filly flirting with a stallion. But when he grinds the butt of his cigarette with the heel of his leather boots, I am a calf, hopelessly roped and hogtied. His lips taste like tobacco, and his shirt smells like smoke. I am 19, and he is 25, and I liked riding the country roads in his pickup truck on the weekends, checking the mirror on the visor for lipstick on my teeth. I don't remember us ever going to a movie or a restaurant. Once he drives me to the college dorm on a Sunday afternoon, and I go to introduce him to my roommates, and I forget his name. Never calls after that. I still don't remember his name, but my sister does. She Googles him and finds an 86-year-old man with the same name in the same small town I left when I was still a filly, and he a strong stallion. Thank you, Sharon. I hate to break the mood with mine, but I selected this one because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and my son always really enjoyed that, and so I selected one to honor my son, who many of you know is in heaven waiting for me already. But some of you didn't know that, but now you know. Bottle cap. We finally sold our green and silver Chevy Blazer, our son's chariot of choice. Together they galoomped over potholes, blared his music, screeched into parking lots, arrived just in time for his summer job. At least once a week in the time after he died, I peered into the now silent car, surveying the detritus of his last drives, burger and candy wrappers, notes, ticket stubs, all that testified to his former presence. At last we decided to sell. A shop vac would separate our son's spirit, or at least his trash, from his metal steed. Whir of the machine cleared crumbs from flooring and seats. I held it above the wrapper-filled cup holder, and something began to rattle. as the hose tried to pull it out. Off switch. I snatched at the offending metal. A cap from Hank's, a premium root beer. Nothing like the tang of sassafras and sugar, Joe once told me. Squeezing the cap's crimped metal edges tightly in my palm, I dropped the cap into my Buick sedan's cup holder, where his Hank's bottle cap now spins and rattles. Joe rides with me. That's from Feathers on Stone.
Excellent. Neil, you're up.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to read a poem from my book, Rock Dreaming. Rock Dreaming has as a subject First Nation people of Australia. I'm going to read a poem called Burimba. Burimba was the name that the Bundjalung people called what is now known as the Clarence River. It's about 700 k's from north of Sydney. And the cedar cutters got up there very early. I've got a connection to it because my descendant came to Australia in 1838 and he went up to the Clarence River, and I was involved in the settling of it and the cutting of cedar, etc., etc. So here's Burimba. Burimba winds through its steep-walled gorge, then surges down the mountain, carrying its story in rock-filled steps. It tells of boundaries and belonging, of Gumbangar, Bundjalung, and Yagir, of their 60,000 years of belonging to country, of belonging not in title deed or fence boundary, but of belonging like the platypus swimming in the clear water of Kangaroo Creek belongs, or the red-crowned eastern rosellas in their surging, dipping speed of flight belong, or the mob of kangaroos emerging at dusk to feed on the tender grass belong to the land. There are stories Burimba cannot tell as it travels first through cliff-lined canyons and then finally in meandering patterns curling around its 99 islands before flowing through Yamba's high dunes. The water birds rise and circle in raucous lament, but they have no sound for Burimba's saddest stories. Burimba cannot speak of 100 Bundjalung massacred near the white sands of Evans Head. Burimba cannot tell of 23 Kumbangar lying dead on the banks of Kangaroo Creek, poisoned from flour laced with arsenic. All's changed since those killing days. Yet the river that flows to the ocean still rises in the distant mountains and travels through country that once was Kumbangar, Bundjalung, and Yagir land. But now, passing under long bridges, passing towns with jacaranda-lined streets, passing cattle grazing in lush pasture, passing the dense tangled green of cane fields, passing fishing trawlers and timber trucks and the speeding cars on the highway. Everything changes, but the river flows, still carrying its old, unreconciled stories, still flowing past obstacles of denial and guilt, still seeking an irresistible flow of truth, still seeking to gouge a path of acknowledgement straight into the heart of national conscience. Thank you, everyone.
Well done. Reader number 4.
Hello, this is Kavita, and I'm reading from Calgary, Canada. I'm going to read a poem called Homesick, and the poem was included in an issue on with the theme of hyphenated identities, and it was in a magazine from Pittsburgh called Say To Magazine. Homesick. The pandemic has changed nothing. It's the norm to work from home. The day begins in classic fashion. I hear pleasantries from his south of the border colleagues on a conference call. Headphones are uncomfortable. I can't move my desk to another space in the house. It's heavy with poetry and photographs, so I can't help overhearing. Are you okay? Yes, he says. Couldn't be better. We've learned to say that even if we feel terrible. That's how they do it here. He continues. The trees are laden with mangoes, jackfruit hang perilously low, threatening to drag the branch down. The air is redolent with cardamom and pepper. Cashews dangle voluptuously in red, green, and yellow. Surely it was the forbidden fruit of law, and not the state apple. What more could I ask for? He says. They laugh, knowing that here only icicles dangle from trees and eaves troughs. He must be homesick, I think, or he's having an identity crisis. No Garden of Eden here. He masks his longings for the fruit of a distant, bygone home with a bittersweet attempt at humor. We are Indo-Canadians. The Canadian part has still to kick in. It's been 25 years. We cannot drop the hyphen. We are proudly Indo-Canadians. Thank you. And the poem was published in the Yearbook of Indian Poetry in English, the very first inaugural issue of this anthology. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Number 4.
I was number 4, so that might be
Number
5.
5.
Yeah, I think I came after Kavita.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I would like to, I guess, is this also a homesick poem? Probably. I'd like to read a poem that was just published in Silver Birch Press's Spices and Seasoning series. It's The Last Supermarket in Worcester, Massachusetts, 1985. And it has a cool picture. Actually, maybe, can I share the screen? Oh, no.
One second and I'll let you.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a very cool picture. You see the fancy plain yogurt. Okay. The Last Supermarket in Worcester, Massachusetts, 1985. This time I drive mother's car. She has sent me out for plain yogurt. Yogurt only comes in 6-ounce cups. Hood's Swiss-style blueberry speckled with fruit, Dutch apple, bright lemon, nothing plain. I found nothing, not even on Water Street or the West Side. I think of driving east to Boston or going home to make yogurt in mother's kitchen in the space left over from her plastic grapes and apples heaped in straw baskets. I park at the Last Supermarket, the one with spice bins, earthy, cumin, cardamom, turmeric, more than even hippies would want. Among the sweets, I find bitter, chocolate bars labeled noir, but there's no plain yogurt, even here. Okay, thank you much.
Thank you. Then we'll go to reader number 6. While you're unmuting, let me just make sure that the rest of you have caught up with us. Mary Ellen, you are number 11. And who just joined us? Lorraine, you would be number 12.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is one from my book that just came out called How to Become Invisible. And it's a short one. It's called Aftershock. Nothing can touch you. You wear an electric halo that keeps you safe from memory. You are made new again, clean as a baby. Nothing can be your fault. You are a saint without a history, preparing to perform your first miracles. You will be generous and blind. You will sniff out pain like God's own bloodhound. You smile, and your smile leads you through the day, empty as the halls you walk up and down, going nowhere, empty as your face, somehow still wet with tears you didn't shed. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm next up, and I chose a poem that I wrote quite some years ago in response to people who were complaining about pain. And as a nurse, obviously, I treated pain a lot. So this is called The Teeth of Pain. Pain is perverse, universal, personal, persistent, more constant than change. It seeks us early and leaves only with last breath. Pain, the destroyer, eats away courage, gnaws at a heart, a mind, until only stubborn refusal holds body and soul together. Robbed of joy, peace like a vapor melts traceless into the hard, relentless teeth of pain. Pain, the tutor for those who listen, inflicts patience, compassion, determination, self-mastery, takes the stubborn refusal, binds body and soul into a fortress, brings peace, an elusive vapor that laughs, sliding past the sharp, unfailing teeth of pain. That brings us to reader number 8. If I'm not mistaken, that should be Sean.
Yeah, had to unmute. Okay, let me find my poem because I had to change. Okay, so this one has just been recently published in a journal called Mocking Heart Review, because I had to hustle something up because I was going to read a new thing, but I don't want to mess up my chance. So anyway, that publication had a theme that was camaraderie, I believe. So you had to submit something that, resonated. Okay, so anyway, it's called It's Just Not That Hard. I'm going to try and read it from my screen. It's just not that hard. I read in a magazine about the silent sup, that little nod we give each other in passing. It could go up or down, but here it's a cocky little chin toss, eyebrows lifted, sometimes a smile, albeit a small one. I walk every day up and down my road twice, trying to keep osteoporosis at bay. I must make quite a sight. An old white lady with big headphones, belting out the songs, arms waving in time to the music. The boy cruising on the ATV was brown and handsome. He could have been my grandson, for God's sake. Passing each other, we both gave the silent sup, then big, big smiles. At first I thought, ridiculous. He's probably laughing all the way home. Then I remembered where I live. People make small talk. They let you turn, let you merge into traffic. They throw shaka. They look at you in the eye. It's just not that hard to be kind. Maybe he did laugh later, but in that moment, it was as if it wasn't us, not an old woman or a young boy, just our hearts nodding to each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Luann.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone. I was going to read a different poem, and then all of a sudden at the last minute, I changed my mind, and I want to read a poem that I've never read aloud before. So I might screw it up, but at least I'll have given it a try. It's from my chapbook, Kintype, which are all poems about, I don't know if you can, this, oh. They're all like poems about my family and family history. So this one's about my grandparents. The fat little house. Watch where you're pitching an old wad of tinfoil. The sound of its slap on the porch is hollow and supernaturally weighty. Who threw it? The workman. Who employed him? The septic tank company. Who employed them? The homeowners. When was the yard last dug up? When the home was built 40 years ago. What is it like now? The wood sides of the little house are crazed, the sidewalk and window frames cracked and pebbling. What is its story? Start at the beginning. A sweet house, he called it. He nailed the last of the wood and wiped his brow with the rag hanging from his back pocket. But short and fat, she said, and pretended to topple the ladder. He laughed. I like my houses like apples. And swaddled inside the crisp, sugary walls, she nurtured and nestled babies, slippery as fruit flesh. 1, 2, and then a third was lost, and a fourth born. 3 children fed in this house by her hands, by his hands. 3 children clothed in this house by her hands, and by his labors with grease and iron. Such nourishment went on in that fat little house, but it couldn't sustain the one planted in the front yard. Most days they forgot to remember it buried in the back soil, huddled within the tree's bony fingered roots, until it thudded onto the porch at their feet. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are up to number 10, which should be Ethan, I believe.
Hello, how is everyone? This is from well, Sharon is going to feature me, which is very kind of her in her amazing series, and it's also from the book I Garden Weeds. My background's blurred, so everything is kind of blurry. Maybe I'll just unblur. Let's see, unblur. Okay, I'm now unblurred, which I guess unblur must be a word because I just used it. Okay, so here's the poem. This one is called Oh No, Not Another Nature Poem. What more is there to say? The hills are hilly, the grass is grassy, and still inexplicable as in Whitman's day. Leaves lie like litter, individual as snowflakes, each a jagged textual miracle, woven a brown blanket, future fertilizer for new leaves of grass. Occasional birds twitter, a snatch of song, a sweet of call and response. The grass is brown now, the vegetation sparser, the songs quieter than decades past, when legions whipped up a chaotic orchestra, chirps, blades, thrums, green shoots. In the distance, cars hum, as they have, it seems, for time immemorial. A tiny spider descends from some invisible string, lands on my notebook, skitters across these words as I write, disappears off the edge, reappears crawling up my jacket. I would flick it away, but it's so tiny, and fewer spiders crawl each day. Once upon a time, bugly hordes seethed, common as words scrolling a computer screen. Now each mutt minute life is precious. In the distance, a lone hawk prowls the sky. How must it feel to fly, not in some contraption, but borne aloft on one's own flesh? Columns of trees loom every which way, naked in the late fall, unashamed. Hills roll into the horizon. This was a golf course once. Soon it'll be townhouses. Nature's encroachments are puny and sporadic. So you see, I'm no Wordsworth or Whitman, not just through lack of talent. These days, poems celebrating nature's grandeur are an affront. This poem is a hymn in its feeble way to glorious remnants, fading, fading, fading. Okay, thank you.
And thank you. That brings us to Mary Ellen.
Hello. I'll read a poem from my chapbook that just came out, Taking Leave, which Sharon graciously will and generously will feature pretty soon. This is called Guzzle Unbuckled Shoes, and it's about my sister who was 12 years older than I am. Her arthritic hip won't bend to reach unbuckled shoes, so she heads to work wearing black unbuckled shoes. Her husband would grasp her foot to slide it inside, but can't breathe, bend down, reach her unbuckled shoes. She leaves him with his oxygen hooked up at home, screen door flapping breezes like her unbuckled shoes. Easy on the gas, she drives small town streets where trees' dry limbs reach out to sun like her unbuckled shoes. Texas Dawn, Cracker Barrel restaurant, she clocks in, drinks a coffee cup breakfast in unbuckled shoes. The custodian props his broom beside her chair, stops rounds each day to buckle both unbuckled shoes. They smile as stroller babies throw sandals across the restaurant floor and parents chase unbuckled shoes. At 70, she likes spending her store discount, part-time cashier standing in her now buckled shoes. This well enough day at its end, she arrives home with tired feet, now dreaming of unbuckled shoes. Thank you.
That was fun. Thank you.
And I should say it was published first in Raising Lily Ledbetter anthology.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, Lorraine, if you have a connection and can do so, it's your turn to read. And you are still muted. She's having connection problems, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sorry about this.
There
The
you are.
joys of living in the developing world. It's Carnival here, and I guess in like New Orleans, it's Mardi Gras. So this is called Carnival's Morning. I am awakened by an explosion and a faint flash of orange light, and the successive blast of rocket after rocket shakes these 4 a.m. streets. Gunpowder smoke drifts down the main avenue towards the pier. Nearby, at a makeshift stall, men sit drinking beers. They yell in English at this foreign lady up on the hotel balcony of termite gnawed wood. She ignores them. A weak shaft of light shines out from her room. The stall owner sprawls in her blue chair. Blue dress stretches across splayed knees. Her closed eye head rests on an upturned hand. Cumbias flow from a jam box, gentle wash of waves behind them. After the last reverberation of the last rocket fades, a marimba begins playing up in that Central Park. Several hours later, morning dusk washes over the Gulf, the islands, the shoreline. The rose-colored full moon fades. On the corner of the Pier Avenue and Calle Marina, a person lies stretched in a hammock strung under a palm-thatched porch. Unawakened, unmoved by the loud voices of those men who are still drinking. A couple hurries down that long pier to where others await a panga for the mainland. Soon one leaves riding deep in the leaden water. The buzz of the outboard motor fades with its distance. Twittering bird song fills the sparse scattered trees, the distant landscapes clear.
I like that. Almost like being there.
Thank you.
So we've all now had a chance to go through and read one poem each. I'm going to take host prerogative and not have us go around and read another poem, but rather to spend whatever additional time we would like to visiting and discussing. So I will now stop the recording.